Good morning, everyone. It's just a great honor to be here. I do have to say, it's really a challenge to be the one who follows the governor. An incredibly tough act to follow. It's just a great privilege to work with him. He truly is a leader, and he truly is a visionary, and he is very committed to this state. As you heard Commissioner McKee say, when he came into office, he recognized the value of energy, the role that it plays to the quality of life that we have here in the great state, the truly great state of Utah. So thank you all for having me here today. Good morning. It's just a beautiful day here in Vernal. I drove in yesterday, and I always enjoy my drive here to Vernal because I feel like I'm coming home. I'm coming home to a place that means a lot to me, where I get to have really terrific conversations. I've worked with many of you over the years that I've been involved in the sector, in energy and also in minerals and mining. Whether I was working in the private sector or the public sector, you all have always been very welcoming. And if I haven't worked with you yet and you don't know who I am, I want to know you. So please plan on it, because I'm certain that we will work together. And you know, the reason that I'm always so thrilled to be here is because I think that this place creates a setting for some of the most interesting conversations about the criticality of energy. And so many of you here in the room get the criticality of our energy and minerals system. And I'm really passionate about that, because when I go into my home and it's dark at night, the very first thing that I do, and I bet each and every one of you do as well, is you turn on the lights. You turn on the lights, and you're grateful for that. You're grateful for being able to find your way around your home and not having to do it in the dark. And I used to work also with our former Lieutenant Governor, Greg Bell, who used to like to say, you know, mostly bad things happen in the dark. Not entirely, and I'll let you think about what those other things are. But truly, I do appreciate being here. I appreciate you all recognizing the importance of the conversation. Whether or not we agree on everything doesn't matter. What matters is that you're willing to listen, as the governor said, with both ears, and you're willing to, as appropriate, talk and engage in the conversation. So I also want to recognize that you all have been very receptive to another vision of the governor's, which is the creation of the Office of Energy Development. And many of my staff are here today. I see Jordan Clark, who's our conventional energy manager and really works on a lot of our development issues, and I know more of my staff is around here, but you've been incredibly welcoming to them. I know Alaire's here, Jeff Barrett, who's a deputy director, is here somewhere. So you've been incredibly welcoming to the Office of Energy Development and to our staff. And we are here for you. And I've said this before, some of you have maybe heard me say it before. It's really great to work in a state where you can say the government is here to help, and we actually mean it. We're not here to get in your way. We are here to help. And the role of the Office of Energy Development is truly to keep our fingers, as it is for many of you in this room, to keep our finger on the pulse of our energy economy. In fact, the mission of our office is to advance Utah's energy and minerals economy. And we do that because of the value that it brings to Utah, and specifically to Utah citizens and businesses. And we have a few tools that we use to do this. Policy, we engage a lot in policy, many federal policies. There are also things happening at the state level, and we want to make sure that we keep this landscape open for those opportunities. And times can be challenging, but we can be innovative, we can be creative, but we need rational, reasonable policy. So policy is really, really key. We can plan. We look out and we say, well, what resources do we have? And they are vast. We have unconventional resources. We certainly have our conventional resource space, which has been so important to the vitality of our state. We also have many alternative energies, renewable energies, and energy efficiency and conservation. In Utah, I like to say we have it all. We really have a vast array of resources, and we can plan for how we develop those. In fact, I just learned this morning that our Utah Geologic Surveys, in partnership with the University of Utah's Energy and Geologic Institute, has received a $29 million grant to further study geothermal resources. That didn't just happen by accident. It happened because we planned. Because we plan for new opportunities, and those opportunities are being made available to us. But the third tool that we have, and I often consider it the most important tool, is direct engagement. And that's really where we come and we work with all of you. Some of these other things, policy certainly can get in the weeds, if you know what I mean. I won't get into any wonkish discussion here today. There might be some of them later, and they're important discussions, but often we do get into the weeds as we look at technology, as we talk about initiatives that are challenging, as we look at opportunities. But you know, I think what we have here is really bigger than that. And if I have any message that I leave with you all today, is that we have something bigger here, and it really is our future. It's the future of Utah, and it matters what we do together. That's really my message to you, and that's what I'm going to talk a little bit more about today. Because as the governor also mentioned, energy discussions can get sidetracked. There is misinformation out there. There's some negativity. And, you know, I don't want to be overly critical here, because I think that people sometimes have certain beliefs. They have certain information that they have access to. All that I ask is that let's please continue to have the conversation. Let's see where we can gather better data, where we can assimilate and assemble better information so that we can truly track and understand our opportunities. Because it's by coming together, in fact, that we realize those opportunities. And we've accomplished a lot. Look at the success stories that you heard about from the governor here today in terms of what you all are doing. And I really attribute that to what I call the 3 C's of the success here. First of all, it's creativity. When there's challenge, you're creative. In our conversations with many in the oil and gas industry, for example, conversation with Newfield today, with Crescent Point that I visited with earlier in the week. It's about being innovative during this time of challenge. And I didn't coin this phrase, but somebody used the term recently, strategic pause. How do we take advantage of that strategic pause and increase our efficiencies in the field so that when, in fact, prices begin to rise, that we can realize those new opportunities? Or how do we create new businesses? I think it is absolutely outstanding what the companies have done to come together in the face of some challenges and be creative. And they do it because they're committed. And so that really is my second C. It's about creativity, and it's about commitment. And I think that the reason that you all are so committed to your community and to the value that can be realized here is because of your connection to the community. So those are really my 3 C's of success. It's creativity, it's commitment, and it's connection. And the Office of Energy Development is absolutely committed to this community and helping you to find creative solutions. We are thrilled that we've been here for 5 years, and I will, if you'll indulge me just a little bit, I want to just recognize again the governor's vision in creating this office. This is a legacy office for the governor. This was his vision. He created it, but it was all because of conversations with each and every one of you here in this room. This was not created in a silo. So we have a video that we created to recognize our 5 years of success so far. We anticipate 5 more years of success, but if you'll, and many more after that, but if you'll indulge me for just a minute, I'd like to show you a short video recognizing the Office of Energy Development, but also really a tribute to each and every one of you.
Utah is endowed with an abundance of natural energy resources, from oil and gas, to coal and hydro, to wind and sun. These homegrown assets fuel our modern society and supply us with the quality of life that we all enjoy. As we look to our energy future, it is essential to our economic and environmental well-being to take an all-of-the-above approach to resource development and utilization. This will enable us to supply our growing population with affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy for years to come. With that long-term vision in mind, I created the Governor's Office of Energy Development.
The mission of the Governor's Office of Energy Development is to advance all forms of responsible energy and minerals, to ensure a steady stream of power and resources keeps flowing and our economy keeps growing. Right now, Utah's diverse energy and minerals industries contribute over $20 billion to the state's gross state product. That's quite significant. It translates into millions of dollars in tax revenues and more than 50,000 high-paying jobs for Utah's families. But we can't stop here. It's essential to our state's economy and to our continued role as an energy and minerals exporter to keep expanding wisely and strategically. And we promote that in our office by providing industry assistance, education and outreach, and policy development.
From its roots, Utah has a rich history of industry and innovation that continues on today. A new study by environmental entrepreneurs called the state a hive of clean energy activity. And at UE Americas, we've seen a colony of renewable energy blossom in the desert practically overnight. Utah's high elevation, cool temperatures, and panoramic sunshine certainly provide an ideal climate for solar to thrive. But it's the state's business-friendly environment that's also key in attracting these long-term investments. With the assistance of state and federal tax credits, Utah has gone from 0 megawatts of utility-scale solar in 2014 to over 800 megawatts by the end of 2016. This solar boom has truly put Utah on the forefront of renewable energy development and once again on the national map as a state of industry and innovation.
Energy literacy from a young age is essential to ensuring that Utah will have the science, technology, engineering, and math-trained workforce to power our energy future. It's been our pleasure to partner with the Governor's Office of Energy Development to expand minds, young and old, through education and outreach. The office offers a broad range of programs for students and teachers K through 12 and beyond. Students gain a better understanding of the workforce opportunities available to them through these programs. And if curiosity is any indication, Utah's energy future is bright.
Every spring, over 1,200 people gather for the annual Governor's Utah Energy Development Summit. Under the leadership of Governor Herbert, this premier event brings together businesses, industry experts, and officials from our own backyard to around the globe. These knowledgeable stakeholders not only discuss best practices and innovations, but they also offer insight into the regulatory issues and policy options to address the ever-evolving energy world. Energy is an integral part of our world. Through our ongoing partnership, we're proud to help provide Utahns of all ages with the knowledge and skill set they need to become energy leaders at home and abroad.
Affordable energy is a major contributor to Utah's successful economic formula. It provides a competitive advantage to Utah's businesses and industries. You know, I represent Senate District 24, which is a rural part of the state, and like many rural areas, it has unique challenges and opportunities, and it's currently facing some real economic headwinds. On several occasions, the Office of Energy Development has partnered with me to craft legislation focused on energy and infrastructure investment to bring companies and jobs to rural Utah. My colleagues and I have really come to rely on the office's expertise to tackle a variety of these energy issues to ensure Utah is making the best decisions for our communities and the development of our resources.
Senator Okerlund's leadership in creating the high-cost infrastructure tax credit will provide significant economic and environmental opportunities for the Uinta Basin. This tax credit will help oil and gas operators make the investments that will sustain this important industry and allow greater access to the region's generous resources. The Office of Energy Development is a fantastic partner for Duchesne and Uinta County, and we look forward to working with them to implement this exciting new program.
Our society is built on energy, and our success will depend on energy investment and innovation. By the year 2050, we're set to double our population. Meeting that demand will require an ever greater focus on the wise use of all of our energy and mineral resources. I'm optimistic that with the foresight and expertise of the Office of Energy Development, Utah will continue to be one of the great energy success stories unfolding across America today.
Well, we did talk about the Office of Energy Development. This video is really about you. It is about our engagement with you. It's about creating partnerships, both precedented and unprecedented. And I'm sure you have all heard the governor say that unprecedented partnerships are really the key to unlocking new opportunities. But we do continue to recognize that we can't stop, as we mentioned in the video, that we can't stop and really just celebrate our successes. We want to, because I think that's an important part of our message for recognizing the value that energy plays, but education has to be ongoing. Energy education really has to be key to our ongoing success. So this is another, I think, really fun announcement that I want to make to you all today. In realizing the governor's vision, in realizing your vision for Utah's future about what we can do across our energy landscape really requires that we are educated and we understand that energy landscape. And it's not just about understanding how we get from the oil field to the gas tank and recognizing the value of that productive activity. It's also about developing the workforce of the future, because as the governor said, we're going to need those jobs. We know that energy goes through transitions, and this is perhaps an incredibly transitional time, but we're going to need those jobs. We need those jobs across the spectrum of our energy system, and that requires a deliberate focus on how we can be innovative and creative in our focus on energy education, building on our science, technology, engineering, and math. And so I want to announce that just today, the Office of Energy Development is in fact rolling out its Energy and Minerals Education Initiative. And so we're very, very excited to be able to do that. Our website is launching today. I wrote it down. I actually have to write it down. It's so new. UtahEnergyEd.org. And here's a screenshot of our website as it opens up. But again, this wasn't just the Office of Energy Development that did this. This is the result of conversations that we had with you. Many, if not the majority of people in this room, about what do we need to do to educate our children today about the significance of energy? What do we need to be doing to prepare for that energy future? And we were fortunate to receive a grant through the Utah Cluster Acceleration Partnership of $200,000 to develop this platform. You all might have heard me announce that last year because we had just received that grant, and I see Ben Hart here, who I have to really thank for his guidance and support in the receipt of this grant, because it wasn't something that we did in isolation, but we did come into it with a vision about what we could do to advance Utah's energy education and really prepare our children for the future of energy, to work with our research institutions, and also to work with the public about advancing really an understanding of the energy sector. So maturing that interpretation of our energy systems. And we looked and we said, we need partners to do this. So we received the grant, and we subsequently received support from Chevron so that we could launch a scholarship program in conjunction with this, a $20,000 scholarship program that's going to allow us to offer 4 high school students in 11th grade or 12th grade who are going to go to a Utah Institution of Higher Learning and are going to focus on an energy and minerals education. And a $5,000 scholarship, which is what each one of these students will receive, it's a competition, they have to earn it, it's going to the way that we're going to do this, they're going to have to create a video. So they're going to get this hands-on experience. They're going to have to really dig in and understand energy and really think about it. And that's what this overall program is about. As we worked across agencies, and I absolutely have to recognize the Division of Oil, Gas, and Mining, who has been delivering a 4th grade curriculum for well over 2 decades. The School and Institutional Trust Lands, who's been a valuable partner in that. Associations, Utah Mining Association, Utah Petroleum Association, and our industry partners that came together and said, we really need to create this hands-on approach that allows for both students and teachers to be creative and innovative in how they look at energy, how they look at technology, and encourages them to use science, technology, engineering, and math. So we built on that 4th grade curriculum that's currently offered. We identified are there gaps in that curriculum, and we filled those gaps. I think we've done an incredible job of building a curriculum that really provides a full energy spectrum across our energy systems in the state of Utah. But we said, you know what? 4th grade isn't enough. I can't remember everything that I did in the 4th grade. I know that I got my first pet in the 4th grade. It was a cat, and I really loved that cat. But I really don't remember a lot about what I learned other than I think it was my first introduction to algebra. So we need to move beyond that. So 8th grade seemed like a next good step to have energy curriculum. And so we took that curriculum for the 4th grade and we advanced it and developed it at a higher level for the 8th grade. You take that, you couple it with our scholarship program, and also as part of this, we were able to further bolster what we call the Energy Research Triangle. And the Energy Research Triangle is about bridging research across our universities so that we can accelerate those technologies that address Utah-specific issues in the energy space and allow for deployment of those technologies in the field. And tacking onto that, can't stop there, we have a public forum. We are offering an Energy Days, an Energy and Minerals Day that we'll do once a year. Of course, we do have the Governor's Energy Summit, but this Energy and Minerals Day is really committed and dedicated to reaching out to the public and educating them about energy. So I'm very excited about this initiative. I really encourage you all to go to the website, utahenergyed.org, and be part of the conversation. We want to hear your feedback. As I mentioned, many of my staff are here. Please reach out to us, talk to us, because that's really, as I mentioned, how we become better. This last year, we also released, in great partnership with Senator Okerlund and the legislature, the high-cost infrastructure tax credit. And again, that's something that we couldn't have done without all of you, without us all coming together and having this platform for conversation. So with that, I'm just going to wrap up and say thank you so much for your time, for indulging me a little bit with the video, for welcoming me here always, for welcoming my team here. And mostly, I just want to thank you for your continuing leadership. A phenomenal commission here, a phenomenal commission in Duchesne County and the surrounding counties. We're just really honored to have such wonderful officials here locally in our legislature and the team of industry and citizens that are so committed to their community. So I really commend each and every one of you for all of the work that you do. So again, my sincere appreciation. Thank you.